SHMACKEMAGOB. What's up, everybody? This is a donated track-by-track episode from Michael Perez. Now, Michael Perez wanted me to do the first two Monkees albums. Now, Michael Perez gave a nice donation, and I'm not too aware of the Monkees, but you know who is? Great podfather, Ken Mills, who actually has a Monkees podcast called Zilch, right?
Yes, Zilch, a podcast full of monkeys. Thank you for having me on, Ralph. You know I love you. And for those who don't know, Ralph is my actual medical physician. He's kept me alive all these years.
That's right. I'm very good at that.
Because he is the doctor of love.
Yeah. Of love, you know, you can spell it that way. You can spell it. But Ken is known as the Podfather because Ken, a lot of people don't know this. Ken has been doing podcasts since the 60s.
Yes,
and
yes.
Just didn't press record back then.
Right. Well, I used to have, back in my bedroom, I used to have a microphone and earphones, but they weren't plugged into anything.
Yeah.
So.
And before that, remember, before it was cups and strings.
That's right. I'm so old, I remember that.
That's amazing. That is some amazing. That's why he's the Podfather, man.
Well, thank you, Ralph.
All of us.
I love you, brother. You're awesome. I'm so glad to be here.
I love you too, bro. And I missed you this year at Nashville. I'm always there with you, hanging out with Ken in Nashville, but couldn't make it this year, and it was a shame. I missed you.
But we're hanging out now.
Yes, and we're hanging out hopefully next year in Nashville.
That's right. That's right.
Fingers crossed. So, since I don't know much about the Monkees, but I will say I absolutely love Daydream Believer. I've always loved that song. It's just that song, that one song I love from the Monkees. So he wanted me to do the first two Monkees albums. So I reached out to Ken and asked him, dude, do you want to take part of this? Because I think this guy will get a kick out of having somebody that actually knows about the Monkees instead of me just winging it. And, you know, you can tell,
I even have my green stocking wool hat, you know, so.
The Michael Cap. I can't say his last name now.
Yeah, Nesmith.
Yes.
Ness for short.
What was that? Remember he had a video, and he's sweating in the video. It was like late 70s.
Yeah, it was Cruising. They played it on Don Kirshner's rock concert, oddly enough, and
it was shot in LA, right?
Yeah, and it was the story of Lucy and Ramona and their brother Sunset Sam. Yeah,
that's it. Now I remember. You're clicking it. Yeah,
great track.
I remember early on TV would play it too.
Mm-hmm.
It had a scene of him sweating a lot.
Yeah, it was weird. It was the wind was blowing, and he had those weird sunglasses on. It was a trip. It was one of the first videos that you saw, you know, along with David Bowie's stuff and other people's, Queens and whatnot. But his was like, he kind of made that point to do something with a narrative beyond just the song.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and so I am old. So, of course, I was around when the Monkees, maybe they just broke. When did the Monkees show stop? What year was that?
Well, it started back in 1966. As a matter of fact, in October of 1966, the Monkees came on and the first album was released. So that shows you how long ago this was. In less than like two and a half years, it was off TV, and then they went and made a movie, and members of the band started leaving, and everyone cashed them out. They thought, well, these guys are done. They'll never amount to anything. And guess what? They're still on tour, and they're still making albums. Like, there's some people that like have this Monkees versus Beatles thing, which I think is just absolutely crazy, right? Because the Monkees love the Beatles, and the Beatles love the Monkees. So there's no reason to fight with music. It's just silly. But the weird thing is that you know, the Monkees put out an album in this decade. Like they've like hit almost every decade, where the Beatles sadly cannot and have not, you know.
Right. Well, then I guess the Monkees, because the Monkees show was over by the time I was 3 years old.
Yeah,
But
and then it went into syndication. And
yeah, I saw that. I remember seeing that as a kid. But you know, I never like flourished as a Monkey fan like you did. And it wasn't until the '80s when they reunited that they started playing Daydream Believer on MTV that I was like, God, that's a great catchy tune, you know.
it's a
But
great song.
I never. So today I sat down, I took notes here of the first two albums, and we're going to do a track by track of. Is the first album called The Monkees?
Yes, just the Monkees, and the second one is more of the Monkees, as
Yeah.
opposed to the Monkees 2, Electric Boogaloo, which, you know, but can I give you a little backstory on the first two albums?
Of course.
The Monkees' first album came out in October 66. It was released on Cold Gems. It was in the #1 spot on the Billboard 200 for 13 weeks.
Wow.
The album that took its place was More of the Monkees.
So there
And so the two of them, check this out, it displaced the band's debut album from the top of the Billboard 200 charts and remained at #1 for 18 weeks, the longest of any Monkees album. Combined, the two Monkees albums were at the top of the Billboard charts for 31 consecutive weeks.
Wow.
And
Yeah,
that's based on album sales, right? And first album sold 5 million. I don't have stats on the second one right now. Someone out there is yelling at me, so you know. But but that's an amazing accomplishment for any band. Keep in mind the Beatles were still making music at this point. The Stones were making music at this point. And when their third album came out, Headquarters, you know what album knocked it out of the #1 spot? Take a guess. Nope. Sergeant Pepper's.
Oh wow, let's go way back then.
Yeah, so that's a trip.
Yeah. Well, Sergeant Pepper's. I mean, that'll knock any album out.
You would think, you know.
It's a historic album.
So that just kind of sets the table, because I know that there are a lot of people that are listening to this right now that would never ever, you know, probably listen to the music because you know you're breaking ground here, man. You're turning people on to something new. Mr. Perez is making this possible, so thank you, Mr. Perez.
Yeah, you turned me on.
Excellent. So I guess to those who have never seen one of your track by track battles, because I'm going to post this on Zilch, so there's going to be people that are going to check out the Doctor for the first time.
Right on.
So check it out. So how does the track by track album battle work?
Okay, we're gonna go each track. I mean, it has the same amount of tracks. For an example, like we're gonna put Theme from the Monkees versus She. Just the first track. Track 1 versus track 1. Track 2 versus track 2, etc.
There you go.
So, okay, I'll start since I am the rookie, and then Ken will educate me if I'm wrong or right.
Oh, no. Opinion. Here's one thing we want people to know, because I feel about opinions the same way you do.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was speaking for the twats that watch me. Not all that watch me are twats. Like my subscribers aren't twats. It's those ones that come in.
And they want to cause trouble. But you know, opinions are totally valid. They're 100% yours, 100% mine, and whoever's watching this, whatever opinion you have, it's valid to you.
Opinions are like monkeys. Everybody has one.
There you go. Everybody's got something to hide except for me and my monkey.
All right. Well, anyway, either way, Theme from the Monkees. Of course, I know this because this was the intro to their TV show. I'm aware of a song, happy song, you know, go-lucky song, and that one's going against the song She, which I found kind of like psychedelic a little bit, and it's got some cool heavy riffs. And I'm going to give it to She.
That's
like
really, you can't go wrong on either one of these things, right? Because She is like a prototype garage band kind of a song. Right. You only need to know like 3, maybe 4 chords at the most. And that's written by Tommy Boyce and Bobby Hart, the same people who wrote Theme from the Monkees. So that's kind of weird. But there's so many iconic riffs from the Theme from the Monkees, just that opening, you know, and then Here We Come kind of thing. Everybody knows it. It's one of the top theme songs of all television time. So do I have to go with, is it you know, the theme song because of how that makes me feel. It's kind of like the same thing, like when you hear the Batman theme song, you get geared up, you get keyed up. You know, think about your favorite theme song from your favorite TV show. It just sets the stage, right?
Different strokes.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. Uh, but She is actually probably the closer to a real song, if you will, because the theme song is really set up to be a theme song. But the theme song even has some weird psychedelic crap going on in it, and it's really cool. This one's really tough for me. So we give it the thumbs up to She for you. This is tough for me. I'm gonna go with She by a narrow margin.
Okay. All right. The next one is Saturday's Child, which I found it was melodic with like a heavy edge.
Mm-hmm.
A lot like She. It reminds me of She.
Yep.
I dig it, and that's going against When Love Comes Knocking at Your Door, which got like a country flair to it with great vocal melodies. And I'm going to give it to When Love Comes Knocking at Your Door. I like that one more. And
Well,
I like both.
yeah, it's definitely the more poppier of the two songs. You know what I mean? It's almost like written with the idea of, hey, this one should be a hit, right? And it was given to Davey to sing. And but Saturday's Child is written by David Gates from the band Bread. Not that that really has anything to do with it. I have grown to like really love and appreciate Saturday's Child. I love that break part with the drums and how the guitars like do that pull off from the drum riff. So I'm going to go with Saturday's Child for me.
Okay, so you won for the first album so far for you.
Okay.
All right, the next one is I Want to Be Free. It's cute. And I am a sucker for a sappy ballad,
Mm-hmm.
and I do like it. I like it. And the next one is called Mary Mary, which I know this one. This was a hit, right?
Well, it was not only a quote unquote hit for the Monkees, but it was also a hit for Run DMC, Mary Mary Why You Buggin'.
Bugging. Yeah, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Um,
So it was weird that the Monkees wound up in rap songs, but they did. So
but
okay.
it's better than I remember when I was listening to it. It's a cool song, and I'm gonna have to give it to this one. So I'm giving it another one for More of the Monkees.
So you're on 3 for More of the Monkees. I really like I Want to Be Free. It was kind of like trying to cash in on Yesterday, which was the song that kind of influenced the writing of it. Because you got to figure that when the people that were a lot of the people that were doing the writings and the producing putting this all together, they wanted to have something that they could aim at the fans, maybe the younger brother and sister of the Beatles fans, right? So they had Yesterday, so this would be the Monkees Yesterday, if you will, right? So it's kind of like a cross between Bob Dylan, It Ain't Me Babe, with Yesterday, you know. And it's Davey saying, look, I just want to have a good time here. But as far as an actual song that I enjoy, I would go with Mary Mary, written by Michael Nesmith. So there you go.
So you're giving it to Mary Mary.
Yep.
All right. Okay. All right. So the next one is Tomorrow's Gonna Be Another Day, which was this a hit? Because it sounds familiar.
No, but it was on the TV show. See, this is the weird thing. The only single that was released off of the first album was Last Train to Clarksville, which we'll get to later. Which, as you're like noticing, like, was this a single? No. And it's really insane. I think that the thinking was instead of having the kids buy the 45s, they'd buy the whole album,
Right.
you know.
Well,
So,
I really like it. I think it's a happy-go-lucky driving tune, man. I'm loving that song. And that one's going against Hold On Girl. Now, this one, I can't say I hate it, but I don't really like it either. It's just there for me. So I'm going to give my first point to the first album.
I've got to be with you on that one. I love the song Tomorrow's Gonna Be Another Day. It's been one of those songs that throughout my life, Ralph, believe it or not, this song has helped me keep one foot in front of the other because no matter how shitty things get, tomorrow's gonna be another day.
Right on. So you're going to give it to that one.
Yep, absolutely.
All right. So that's 3 for the first album. Okay.
Wow.
I mean, for the second album. Oh, no, that's the first album. Whoops.
Yep.
I'm keeping score here. I know my score is going to be correct. Maybe Kent's wrong. So everybody out there, keep score and then tell me I'm wrong because I already got my scores here. All right, so we're going to go with Papa Gene Blues. Not crazy about this one. Not horrible. It just doesn't really grab me. And that one's going against your Auntie Grisadella. Is that it?
Anti-Griselda,
Uh,
which
uh,
was
yeah.
which was kind of a weird protest song, as weird as that might sound. It was about the stuffy old ladies and the old ways of doing things, like, these people that are judgmental over their tea. It was kind of like a slap at those people. Just imagine the Stones doing this same song. That
Right.
could have been really cool.
I really don't like it, man. I think it's a goofy mess, and I'm definitely giving it to Papa Gene Blues.
There you go. Now I'm gonna go with Papa Gene's Blues too, but I have to give honorable mention to Auntie Griselda, and there's a couple things I want to mention about it. Is Peter Tork, love you. Sad you're not with us anymore, but great guy. Ralphie is one of the greatest people you'd ever meet. Seriously, uh, and as far as the song, there was an attempt to try to make some of the humor of the TV show be on the record. Do you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that was part of this, right? And it was meant to be kind of like a silly song, but as far as songs go, I love Papa Gene's Blues. God, what a bunch of riffs. It's got hooks for days and miles. Just what a great kick-ass song.
Okay, so another one for the first album.
Mm-hmm.
I think I got it right. I think we're at 4. That you like 4 so far from the first album. Maybe wrong. Keep score, everybody, and let me know if I'm right or not. All right. Next one is called "Take a Giant Step," and this is a fun song. It reminds me a bit of Simon and Garfunkel vocally, like the way the vocals sound and kind of the melody. It kind of got a Simon and Garfunkel. Was Simon and Garfunkel around then at that
Yeah,
time?
they absolutely were.
Okay. Well, I like it. And that's going against I'm Not Your Stepping Stone. Now, yes, I know this. I have heard this. And the Sex Pistols even covered this song, oddly enough.
Absolutely.
Did Jimi Hendrix? No, I don't think Hendrix did.
He might have. That's the thing, man. Every band probably has done Stepping Stone
Yeah, I
since it
think
came out.
Hendrix has. I could be wrong, but I think they have. Or maybe I'm
Because
confusing it with Stone Free.
could be. But the thing is that everybody that could pick up a guitar could play Stepping Stone, and it was written with that in mind. That at this point, it was almost like the Monkees are a garage band. They're not like the Beatles. They're a garage band, right? So that's kind of what this was all about. And Paul Revere and the Raiders did this before the Monkees, but just a great song. And this one really hurts. Like, this one stabs through my heart that I have to make a decision here, because I love Take a Giant Step, which is kind of got that Middle Eastern thing in the middle with like the sitar kind of thing going on. And I love the little drum hook that's in it. I love Take a Giant Step, but Stepping Stone is such a kick-ass song. Like you said, so many people have covered it. And you mentioned Jimi Hendrix. He actually opened up for the Monkees.
I knew that. Yeah.
He was their first opening act. So, just imagine white America dropping their kids off to see the Monkees. It's like, what's going on here?
I can imagine. They were horrified. I don't
Yeah.
think it lasted long on the tour.
No, he didn't last long, but I think that it was kind of it was a neat thing, because when Mickey saw him, he's like, we've got to get this guy to open up our tour. And I think Jimmy was like, man, I'm gonna do it, but I think that it was some calculated outrage, like it would cause shock, you know what I mean? And it got him like boom on the news,
Right.
that story about how the tour wound up. But yeah, it was really cool. So my vote, this is tough. What's your vote? Stepping Stone or Take a Giant?
I'm going with Stepping Stone. I do like the other song too.
Ralph. See, 9 times out of 10, if I were going to play either of these songs, I would pick Take a Giant Step. But I have a greater love for Stepping Stone, if that makes any sense. So I'm going to slight edge to Stepping Stone.
Okay. All right, then the next one, of course, I know this one. Last Train to Clarksville.
Mm-hmm.
For some reason, I never really paid attention to it as much as I did for this episode. And it's a really good tune. I like the structure. I like everything about it. You know, it's something that I never really paid attention to before. And I really like it. I really like it now. Now, that goes against Lookout, Here Comes Tomorrow. I never heard this one before, and I absolutely love it. Enough to even give it to this song. I'm giving it to Lookout. And I like Last Train to Clarksville, but I like Lookout, Here Comes Tomorrow.
It's a great song, and it's written by Neil Diamond. So if that may be some of what you're picking up, but it's a great single, great pop production, fantastic song. Last Train to Clarksville, I don't know if you put this together, but you know, you and I've spent some time in Nashville. Just before you get to Nashville is Clarksville, and that's where the kids would go before they were headed to Vietnam. That was their last destination. So Last Train to Clarksville is about seeing your girlfriend one last time for coffee-flavored kisses and a bit of conversation before you... And because he says in the song, and I don't know if I'm ever coming home.
Oh, man, I never picked up on that. That's interesting.
Listen to that again with that in mind.
Yeah.
You know, and then you think of like, was he thinking, well, I either got to go to Vietnam where I might die. If I go to Canada, I can't come home. And I don't know if I'm ever coming home. And that guitar riff is basically a bit of Day Tripper, Paperback Writer kind of, you know, great riff. And when Bobby and Tommy, the writers of this song, when they heard Paperback Writer, they thought he was saying, get on the last train. So he was thinking like, what's that song about trains? And when they went and found the record, they were like, oh, it's Paperback Writer. It's got nothing to do with trains. So, okay, here's our song.
Oh, I see.
So as much as
they did lyrics.
Yeah, absolutely. So I got to give it to Last Train. Though life is, you know, Look Out, Here Comes Tomorrow. I love that too. It's so great.
Yeah. Okay. Well, the next one is This Just Doesn't Seem to Be My Day. It's not bad. It's cute and it's a fun song. And that one's going against The Kind of Girl I Could Love, which is pretty good. And I would say it's almost a tie in this instance, but I'm going to give it to This Kind of Girl because I like the drums more on it. That's the reason I'm going to give it to that one.
Very good. It's again, another tough one. It's one of the better songs for Davey off the first album. As far as I'm concerned, This Doesn't Seem to Be My Day, because we've all been there, right? Just like I said earlier, you know, there's always another day. Well, today doesn't seem like his day. So but I'm going to have to give it to The Kind of Girl I Could Love off the second album.
All right. Okay, so, all right, then the next one we got, Let's Dance On. To me, man, when this song starts, I'm like, what is this, Twist and Shout?
Mm-hmm.
But then the changes right away when the vocals come in.
Yep.
It's great, happy, you know, go lucky type of tune. I like it. And that's going against The Day We Fell in Love. I can see the Davy Jones fans lose their fucking minds when they hear him doing this spoken word. And I'm not a broad, and I don't like this one. So Let's Dance wins this one. So Dance On wins this one for me.
It's weird because both of these songs take some shit from Monkees fans sometimes. Like Craig Cohen, Let's Dance On is his favorite Monkees song, period. But it's also like basically an attempt to do the twist or the frug or, you know, one of those dance songs. It's like the greatest hits of all dance songs put together, right? And The Day We Fall in Love was kind of based on a song by Paul Revere and the Raiders, which was also a spoken song. And they were like thinking, we should do something like that. The kids might like it. So The Day We Fall in Love was given to Davey. I'm going to go with Let's Dance On because it is a kick-ass jam, you know.
All right, yeah, there you go.
I will say that the Day We Fall in Love, you know that one part where he goes, and time will stop. And there's a pause.
Yeah.
When I was a little kid, when I was like 4, that scared the fuck out of me when he would say, and time will stop. And there was no noise. It was like, what's going on? You know, it always used to creep me out when I'd listen to that one late at night.
Right on. All right, then we go to the next one. I'll Be True to You. And this is another song for the chicks to go giddy for Davy Jones, I think. Again, I'm not a fan of this one, but I like it more than, you know, The Day We Fell in Love.
Mm-hmm.
And that one's going, again, Sometime in the Morning, where I'm not really a fan of this one either, but I like it more than I'll Be True to You. So I'm giving another one to the second album. What do you think?
There's going to come a time, Ralph, when you're going to be like, man, I was asleep on the Monkees all this time. And you're going to think back to when you first heard Sometime in the Morning, and you're going to go, that song is amazing.
Yep, I only heard it once.
It's definitely the better of the two songs. Like, to me, I'll Be True to You sounds like something the Hollies would have done back before they started writing their own stuff. You know what I mean? It's just typical safe pop. That's one of the problems with the first album, is that some of it sounds like 1964 and some of it sounds like 1967 at the same time. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, for example, Let's Dance On sounds like an older track at that point. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
As opposed to like Last Train to Clarksville, which sounded modern and still sounds kind of modern today. Let's Dance On sounds older, but Sometime in the Morning is one of those songs that grows with you through your life. So there you go.
Yeah, in my defense, only heard it once. It could grow on later. All right, next one is called Sweet Young Thing. Not bad, pretty good. I take it Michael Nesmith is singing this one.
Yes.
All right, yeah, I figured that. That one's going against Laugh. And this is also not bad, but I like Sweet Young Thing more. So I'm going to give this one to the first album.
Well, I'm going to put this out there. Laugh is a song that I do not enjoy at all. I mean, at all. It's nothing against the music. It's nothing against, you know, like I said earlier, there's always a component in the first couple albums where they try to make something, you know, comedy be on the album. Well, this is almost to me a depressing song about laughing. You know what I mean?
Right.
And the part where they go laugh, ha, 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 ha. You know, I just hate that. It sounds like robots laughing. Just not a fan. Just not a fan. But on the other hand, Sweet Young Thing. Oh my God, I know that something very strange is happening to my brain. I'm either feeling very good or else I am insane. And yeah, that's what it's all about right there, man. Love that song. Great song.
Right on. So you're giving that one to the first album.
Absolutely.
And now we come to the last track.
Mm-hmm.
Gonna Buy Me a Dog. What the fuck, man? It has like false starts, laughing during the song. Seems like they only had one take. You know, it's like, hey, look, you guys only can do this on one take. They're just goofing around, and I don't know what the hell's going on. And there's weird singing in it, and it's just
A lot of jokes.
way over my head.
Right.
That one's going against I'm a Believer. Of course, I know this song. And like Last Train to Clarksville, I never really paid attention to this one. And it's really good. You know, I can see how this one's one of their hits.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm definitely going to give it to I'm a Believer.
I am too, which is not to say I don't love I'm Gonna Buy Me a Dog, but here's some of the reality behind Gonna Buy Me a Dog. This song was recovered by this song was covered by blues people. This song was done by people in England that had a psychedelic kind of a vibe to it. But Davy Jones was on a show before he was in the Monkees And in that show, he was a member of a band, and he just had this little bit part. But oddly enough, the garage band that was in that episode played this song. And it was done as like a straight song. Like there was no joking around. Well, when the Monkees were told, this is the song you're going to do it straight, they went like, we can't do this song straight. There's no way we can do this. You know, we're not singing a song about buying a dog because I need a friend now. So they went in and just ad-libbed and were crazy. So that's actually what you're hearing there. And it's a fun song. It's a fun song, but it cannot go up against Neil Diamond's song "I'm a Believer." God, what a great song! Just that first keyboard thing and that that guitar part's just so kick ass.
So you're going with "I'm a Believer."
Absolutely.
All right, I'm going to put Ken's score.
All right.
Screen right now. When I edit this, I gave mine. My final score is I gave 4 to the first album and 8 to the second album.
Very good.
So Ken, I want to thank you so much. Plug your stuff, man.
Well, you can find us on Zilch, a podcast full of monkeys, wherever it's found. You can join our Facebook page. We love to talk about the Monkees and everything that is kind of like the culture of the Monkees, right? I'm also doing a spot on as a DJ on a show called Monkey Mania Radio, in which we play everything in the Monkees universe. So that might include the Beatles because, like, for example, Michael Nesmith is in the video for A Day in a Life by the Beatles. So that song is part of it.
I got to tell you, Michael Perez, when he donated, he wrote that. He goes, here's a fun fact. Michael Nesmith is in the Beatles video, A Day in a Life. And I was like, dude, I'm not really that much in the Monkees. And I even knew that.
Yeah. And Mickey Dolenz got to go down and watch the Beatles record Good Morning on Sgt. Pepper's. So he was there for that. And he later, when he directed an episode of the TV show, asked the Beatles if they could use that song in the show. And they did. It was used as their alarm clock. So that was one of the first times that the Beatles allowed their music to be used by someone other than them. You know what I mean? And Peter Tork, when he met George Harrison, George sat down with the sitar and Peter sat down with the banjo, which was Paul McCartney's banjo. And he had Peter Tork record something for a soundtrack of a movie that George was making. So there was some love, you know, and there's the famous story that John Lennon said something to the effect that people say that you guys are trying to be the Beatles, but I think that you're more like the Marx Brothers. And they loved the TV show. So there was a huge mutual respect in the sense that the Monkees, like, my God, the Beatles are the architects. And the Beatles just loved what the Monkees were doing because they like good pop music, just like they liked the Byrds and the Beach Boys and everything else that was going on, you know. Right. That was the weird thing about the music of the 60s. You had the Beach Boys would do something, Paul McCartney would hear that and do that thing, and then the Stones would hear this and do that thing, and it was like steel sharpening steel. Whereas you don't really have that anymore, you know what I mean?
Because today sucks, Ken.
Well, there's still good stuff being made, but man, there's nothing like that amazing time. It was just so rich, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
there was an innocence.
Yeah, there was.
So I don't know if I caught it or not, but where exactly can they listen to that radio show?
It's on Monkey Mania Radio on the Live 365 app.
Okay, so type that in and
just do it. Yeah, just do a search for Monkey Mania Radio and you will find it.
Is it streaming or is it at a certain
streaming?
Time?
It's streaming.
It's anytime.
Yeah, 24 hours a day. Just some nice stuff.
Right on. You hear that, Michael Perez? Check it out, man. Check out Ken and check out his podcast.
For you, Michael Perez.
Yeah, thank you so much. And I hope you like what we did here. I had to bring a professional.
That's right.
A guy that his monkey stuff to give for me to show you my gratitude of your very, very generous donation to this track by track album.
And we give Michael Perez a tip of the wool hat, sir.
Right on, Ken. Well, Ken, again, thank you so much for your time, brother.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me on. Love you, Ralph. You've always been very good to me, and I can't say enough good about this guy.
Thanks, man.
I mean,
And
I can say a lot of bad too, but I'm intending to be a positive person.
you can say everything bad about me,
Hot.
and even if it's true, still will not match the bullshit that people say about me. So I don't care. When it comes to the true things that's bad about me, I'm kind of proud of that bad.
There you go.
But but anyway, who cares?
You and I have been friends for a very long time.
Yeah, I can't think of anything bad about you, Ken.
Well, there you go. I'm gonna take that lie and I'm gonna hang on to it.
I think you need to step it up. Though. You need to do some bad shit.
Okay. All right. I will. I promise I will. Oh, I've already got the goatee. It's like on Star Trek. Remember, there was the mirror universe where there's the good Spock without the goatee. Well, I'm going all mirror Ken.
Awesome. That is the Podfather. So check him out. And he got a lot of podcasts out there. So just follow Ken. He is the man. And what can I say other than SHMACKEMAGOB, Ken?
SHMACKEMAGOB!
Listen to the Monkees.
The
Stay
metal
frosty.
side of the Monkees. She.
Zip.